Alright guys, horseplay here. This is going to be like a part 2 to go with the NPI video. This is about the PI heads and what little bit I know about them, but I will share. A lot of people got the misconception that I'm saying NPI heads are definitely the way to go. They're way better than PI, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying they're not as bad as people say they are. They don't deserve the bad rep they have. There are areas where the PI heads are better. Now, one of the reasons, or one of the areas, I should say, that the PI heads are better, the fact that they do raise the compression a bit. Nitrous loves compression. The higher the compression, the more timing, the more nitrous. That just has a cooling effect, okay? So, pretty much nitrous is stored energy. The higher the compression, the more you're going to get out of that stored energy. Now, a lot of people, a lot of turbo cars actually run higher compression than what normally, because we got in the whole thing that we had to have low compression for turbos. And there's a lot of shops these days really pushing the limit because it's in the tuning. You can run higher compression. You can run 12-to-1 and have, turbo or whatever if you got it tuned for that, if the engine is built for that. Most people run lower compression or whatever because they're trying to run pump gas. So, the quench area on the PI heads, you see me looking down, I had to write notes down to make sure. The quench area on the PI heads is better. Basically because it's got a swirl dam or whatever hell you want to call it. The quench area is the flat top on a piston that is level with the surface of the block, where it meets the flat spot on the head. So it's flat and flat. There's basically no combustion going to happen there. It's two flat areas. It's called the quench area. Okay, so you have more stored. That's what raises the compression, and then with nitrous, you have more stored energy to use. Now, like I said, it's got a cooling effect, so you can push the timing a little bit more. The PI cam profiles, whether it's a Crown Vic, a pickup truck, whatever, all the PI cams are the same profile. I've heard people say, well, mine's out of a truck, so I make more low-end torque. The intake on the PI pickup trucks is what dictated the power band for the torque. The tuning, but not the cams. All the cams are the same in any PI vehicle. Crown Vic, it don't matter. Speaking of Crown Vic, if you're doing a PI swap, if you're going to spray or you just want to do the whole PI swap, heads before from 99 to, I want to say 03, I haven't verified this, I did a little bit of research but couldn't, but basically 99 to 03 PI heads, they have 4-thread spark plug holes, which you have a higher chance of blowing out. And PI heads don't have that. And PI heads have more threads. I want to say it's 6 or 8 or something like that, but it's more than 4. The 04 up PI heads, now the PI 4.6 single overhead cam didn't stop in 04 just because it did for the Mustang. It was continued in the pickup trucks and other vehicles like that. So hunt for 04 up cylinder heads because they have an 8-thread spark plug hole. So you get a better grip. You don't have to worry about the spark plugs blowing out. Another thing to look out for is if you're doing the PI cam swap, you want to look for 02 and up, I want to say. Anyway, you're looking for the Romeo cams. The 99 to 01 was Windsor. It had pressed on cam gears. So if you go with 02 and up, or 03 and up, I think it's 2002 and up, PI is the Romeo heads. They had the Romeo cams, which, by the way, the valve covers will not cross over. If you get 04 heads and try to run it on 99 valve covers, it won't work. It's two different style heads, but they're both PI. They're both architecturally the same. It's just the valve covers ain't gonna line up, and there's a little bit of variances here and there, but same flow, same everything else. But the cams for the 02 up, the Romeo heads, is bolt-on cam gears. So you can get adjustable cam gears, or you can use the Anderson tool and do a cam swap without ever having to remove the whole front cover and all that stuff. Let's see. I think I've covered most of the basic stuff on the PI stuff. Now, as far as PI swap, if you want to see what a PI swap does, just basic bolt-ons and stuff, go look at 4.6Chris. He's running pretty good numbers. I think it's like 280 to the wheels, somewhere around there. And he's beating cars that have higher horsepower than him, you know, because of weight and stuff like that. Also, he is going to be running nitrous. If you want to look at somebody that dabbles in the nitrous game, that has a single overhead cam 4.6 car, I'm getting strangled up here, these damn Sanacs. Anyway, if you want to see somebody who dabbles in the nitrous and what it's going to do and how it reacts with a PI swap, for real, go look at 4.6Chris. If you're not already following him, I don't know what you're doing, but it'd be crazy if you was following me or subscribed to me, whatever you want to call it, and didn't know about 4.6Chris, because that dude, he's on a ball lately, and his views are getting crazy views, and he just did the PI swap, and now he's going to do the nitrous, and I'm excited for him, but I think it's really going to be beast, and I wanted to spray mine from the beginning, so to see what his car's going to do really will dictate what I'm going to do. So he's kind of the pioneer for me, or the guinea pig, I guess you could say. Now, as far as finding the heads, you know, you can get them off of various vehicles. There's plenty of sites to go for and look for that. LKQ, I think it's like $60 a head, and it's like, I think it's 70 or something like that with the cam in it. So, I mean, you can get really good deals out there. I've seen people selling PI heads and cams for like $300. You can get them way cheaper than that from LKQ. I mean, I think the last set I seen from LKQ was like $100. That's for both heads with the cams in it. So, there's always that. Also, one thing I forgot to leave out with the MPI heads. Yes, they flow more than PI. That's stock for stock, ported for ported. From like 450 lift on, a little bit in the lower, just, you know, for 1 or 2 hundredths of a lift or whatever. But I'll show you the diagram here where it's flow chart where it shows it flows more. That's going to be, and we'll just put it right here. So as you can see in the picture, just by the graph, you might want to pause it and look at it for a little bit longer or whatever, but ported for ported and stock for stock, the PI from about 450 lift on just kind of falls, where the NPI just keeps going. That does not mean, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, it's going to make more power in the beginning, but PI heads, as far as their architecture, their combustion, and things like that, when you, like I said, when you get into higher horsepower, when you're talking 600, 700, 800 horsepower, and maybe even as low as 400 or 500 horsepower, the PI heads will start to shine a little bit because they have a better quench area, they have a better combustion, I guess you could say. They're more efficient at the way they process and burn the fuel and expel it. But again, that is not to down NPI heads at all, because there's people making damn good power. And 11-second quarter mile, I don't really want to go any faster than that. So I'm not looking to make. Not everybody wants a 900 horsepower build. 90% of us do, but there's some people that just want a street cruiser. I mean, not everybody needs to roll around with 700 to 800 horsepower. It would be nice, but not everybody needs it. Not everybody wants it. Some people are actually practical. I like to think I am, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm just rambling on. So, I'm going to continue this video with an issue that I had with my fan blower motor for my AC. It just got weak, and I noticed on high the amperage would drop down. Maybe, you know, half. It'd go from 13.5 to 13 to 12.8, you know, somewhere around in there, and it would do it, not all the time, but sometimes. But anyway, I took it apart and got in there, and this is what I found, and I hope this will help people if they have any issues or any things going on. By the way, there's one part in there, because I did more research after I made the video, where I call the one part a cabin filter. It's not a cabin filter, it's just a filter for inside, but it's not meant to be changed, so you have to vacuum it out. There's like no way to get it out. I did all the research, I looked up numbers. There's no part number for a cabin filter for these cars, so I just vacuumed mine out with a shop vac. I didn't show that process because I really didn't know what to do about it. I was trying to see if I could replace it. I couldn't figure out how to get it out. Come and find out, it don't come out. So I hope this little part helps. If anybody has the same issue, I hope you all enjoy just the brief little information on the PI heads. I had the MPI video. Figured I'd do a PI video just so people don't get it twisted that I'm saying one's superior than the other. They both have their peaks. They both have their low points. You know, they're at the end of the day, they'll both fall short to trick flow, straight out of the box trick flow heads. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoy this. I was doing something with the car. I wasn't really filming it because I didn't know how it was going to work out, but now that I see what the issue is, I figured I'd film it just in case anybody else has the same issue. Basically, I'm going to get rained on now, but basically when I turned on my fan on high, I got an excessive draw. The battery meter would drop down. I only did it on high, and it only did it with the fan motor, so I knew it was something in that. So I decided to take the fan motor out and have a peek, and I'll show you some of the things I found. So I got my motor out, and there's an access hole right here where you can see the motor. I took a shop vac, I put it on the exhaust port where it would blow, and I put it here, and it blew so much dust out of here. Me and my wife both was kind of choking in the house. It was pretty crazy. It was not raining. It cleared up until I decided to start doing this, and now it is going to become a downpour, so I'll probably have to get back with this in a minute. But I blew all that out, I cleaned it, and then on the main contact wheel, that copper piece right there, as you can see, I put some dielectric grease to help it move. But let me get back in and I'll show y'all what I was dealing with before. Alright guys, I got a flashlight. If you can see up in here, this is the box where the fan motor goes. So you know, just make sure this is clear. If you fill up in there, there's, I guess, the cabin filter right there with the lights on. That can move like a flap. Basically what I had wrong with me is I had an entire shopping bag stuck up in there. So this fan's trying to suck this air through to blow it out on high just as hard as it could, and that fan was blocking all the air passage. So you can reach around the backside from here. You can reach up in here, and you can reach around this box and fill that filter, or you can just reach through here and fill it. But that is, I guess, the cabin filter. I'm not sure. I'm assuming that's the cabin filter. It's pretty friggin' dirty. I don't know if it's just a flap. I don't know much about ACs when it comes to cars. I'm getting soaked right now to do this, to show you all this part. But yeah, on the back side up here, I had a shopping bag, and it was completely blocking airflow. And me and my wife had both made the comment that it just didn't blow like it used to. And then it started dropping power every time it kicked on. One more thing, guys. If everything goes right this weekend, I have a pretty big surprise coming for the channel. Something I've been waiting for a very, very long time, and something my car dearly needs. So
I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with the 16 bars. I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with the 16 bars. I won't turn around, I won't